I predict you are going to absolutely love this set. These are the card topper pad from Hunkydory, fabulous florals, and they are, as a matter of fact, this is one of the projects that Heidi has done. How pretty is that? Okay, won't you please come play with us? Well, before we get started, let me show you what's in this. There are 24 sheets. It's about a little over ½ an inch thick, and it has 8 designs. You're going to get 3 of each. So let me show them to you. These are the 4 that Heidi did not use. So this is, as you can tell, this is red roses. So you can see that there are, as you would expect from Hunkydory, they are foil, they are die cut. You've got borders, you've got what we call toppers, you've got greetings, all sorts of stuff. And this is the pretty pansies. And we have some hydrangeas that are gorgeous. And we have some lilies. And then also, that card I just showed you comes with peonies. And there's also orchids. How pretty. And we have poppies that are falling out a little bit. And we also have sunflowers. Now again, you're going to get 3 of each of these sheets, foil, die cut, all ready for you. And then what are you going to do with them? Well, Heidi has some ideas. So let me show you. And I'm going to start with this one. And this is using our 5 by 6½ inch card. Now, because you get the toppers, you might want to, as Heidi did, have some papers that will go with them. So let me show you what she's used here. And this is Fairy Garden, which is interesting, but you can see the pinks that are in it. So Fairy Garden 12 by 12 patterned and Fairy Garden solid. So what she did is to take her card and then she cut a piece of the solid, the pink solid, a little bit smaller than the card, glued it in place. But interestingly, she cut a piece of the patterned to go right here, and then she matted it on our gold brush diamond. Now this is absolutely gorgeous, and you can only find it here, which is really special for us. And you can mat it, or you can do what Heidi suggested and just cut a 1 inch wide strip, 5 inches long, and mat it on each side. That way you kind of conserve the paper. So if you're interested in that, that's a good idea. And then this was foam taped on top of the card. You can see it goes side to side. Then she took the oval cutting dies, which I happen to have right here, and she die cut out that gold brushed specialty paper, and you can see that that is the scalloped, and then she put it behind the large oval. Okay, she did not use, there are 3 pieces in this one, so there's the middle, there is a gold frame, and then there's the pattern frame. So here she put the pattern frame and she's going to mat it. But before she does that, she's going to take that same pink and take this big oval and glue it to the pink and then trim it equal to the edge of the topper. Okay, that way you're going to fill that empty space. Then you can foam tape it to the scallop piece, and then you're going to foam tape the center part right in the center. So you end up having, instead of a gold foil edge, you have the pink foil that, the pink cardstock that matches what's on the card. So that's a nice juxtaposition, I think. Then she has another of the pieces. Now this is Blossoming with Love. It is glued on this side and foam taped on this side because it's just raised because of that. And then she took the crepe ribbon set, and love this ribbon because it doesn't get smashed. It's just beautiful. Did a bow, and you know Heidi, she is going to use the Hunkydory bow maker. That's going to give her perfect bows every single time. And then let me just scoot this away. And then she did this nice little treatment in the corner. So this is done with the gold pearl jewel dazzles, so with a large one and then 2 small ones. There are 3 sizes on this sheet, 540 pieces, big one and then 2 little ones on each of the corners. A nice treatment and easily done. Then on the inside, okay, so she took a lighter pink of the Fairy Garden paper and covered the inside of her card. Now, when we say covered, what we mean is that if you take your adhesive and put it on all four edges of your paper or your card, then put your paper down, kind of get it right next to the fold and maybe one area, then press it down, turn it over, and trim it to fit with your scissors or your paper trimmer, whichever you like. Now here, she took the gold brushed and cut a piece, and then also matted it on the light pink. So she's using that light pink several times on the front and then also matching it on the inside. Friendship is a flower that blooms in all season. That, of course, is part of that sheet. And then birthday wishes, and then another little piece. So this is foam taped. This is glued and foam taped on the outside. This is just glued in place. Another bow. And then this time, same treatment with the dazzle. So a big one and then two tiny. We can get in closer to show that to you. And for this, she used the pink dazzles. These are the pink sparkly ones. So that is what takes care of this card. And I have to tell you, I love that treatment on the front. I think it's just lovely. Okay, let's move on to our orchids. So here is the sheet. And for this card, she used the tent cards, the slimline tent cards. Now what that means is that the fold is at the top. So you have this tent. It will stand up just like that, okay? Now to do this, let's see. So she's got the orchid, so she's looking in the blues and the purples. And what the papers that she chose are the Whispering Florals. Just a beautiful set. You can see the greens and the purples right there on the front. There's some blues in there. And then the Whispering Floral solid, of course. So let me just show you. So she took a piece of the Whispering Florals patterned, cut it to the size that's there, and matted it onto a solid. But again, they are smaller than the card itself. That way she has that white border. Now, something I didn't tell you is that this has a stand-up section. Okay, look at that. So when this is resting on your table, that little part is going to pop out and just be just another little piece that's in the front. Now, what she did first, before she did the patterned and matted it, is that she cut a piece. Now, this is 3 inches wide. No, 3 and 5/8, I believe. The exact measurement is in the instructions, by 3 inches long. And then she scored it at 1 inch and 2 inches. And then, so there's another piece here. And then she folded these into a mountain and a valley. So mountain and then a valley. And she glued this end down onto her card, then put that piece of patterned that was matted, okay? Just wanted to make sure that I got you that. Okay, now this is going to rest here, but right now we're going to be doing things in this area. And in this case, she did the same thing with her piece in that she removed the silver frame. So you can see that silver frame, that came out. She took the larger one and simply glued it down, but then she foam taped the center. And I think she did that with the last one too, that she foam taped the centerpiece. And that, of course, is the most interesting piece, so that makes perfect sense. And then she took the Especially for You, that is glued down and then foam taped. And then this little piece, which just has an orchid in it, is just glued right down there, okay? Now, here is where she did some interesting things. We're getting closer to see that, even closer, if you will, Jeanette. Okay, so there is a long border die cut that I have upside down right now, but you can see it here. So she cut it into 2 pieces, and you have some left, and glued them down at the end, and then she put some dazzles on them. Now, this is the purple border dazzles, so it looks like that, lots of different designs, and put one at the top of each one of these. Now, you just want to make sure that these 2 are placed above where that is going to fold up. Okay, so it's not covered up. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Now, This, which is right here, may all of your birthday hopes and dreams come true. That's foam taped onto the front of that little stepper. And then again, she did the same treatment with the dazzles as she did on the first card, this time, of course, with purple jewel dazzles. So you can see it there, and you can see it up at the top. And then there are some individual ones just placed, as you can see. Okay, let's go to the inside. And for this, she covered it in the solid Whispering Florals, the purple, kind of a purple blue. And then she took a blue paper and filled that into the center. And she chose one that has this border design. So I thought that was really clever because she's going to put some things along that middle strip. And one of them is this die cut, and that's going to get foam taped. Then she's got two tags. Now one gets glued down flat, the other one is foam taped. You can see that little V that's creating. And then she did a bow. Again, this is with the purple ribbon, as you would imagine. And more of the jewel dazzles are there in the corners, kind of going around that also. So that finishes her second card. Very pretty, very nice. The papers really do add a very nice background to these. They are actually supporting the artwork, which we really like. Okay, now this is clever, and I haven't seen this done before. So she took her card, and I'm going to turn it over just so you can see, and she covered it with, now this is poppies, as I showed you. Okay, there's poppies. So of course she went into our poppies papers. This is the 6x6 pattern. And she chose a sheet and then covered the front of her card. So you can see this has kind of some ghosted poppies at the bottom and some pinky orangey on the top part. So she covered that part, and then she placed the largest arch from the arch dies around this, making sure that it's not going to cut the fold, and then ran it through the die cutting machine. And that way you get an arch, which works perfectly with these circular toppers. And I have to tell you, I hadn't thought about that before, but I think it looks really good. Now that's going to give us the covering of the paper for the card top. She did the same thing. I don't know what she has against solid frames. But so she removed this, and so she's got the outside and the center. So the outside is going to fit nicely on the card, just like that. So you can, it really just almost matches the arch at the top, so that's nice. And then she foam taped that center area. So you see a continuing design element there. In this particular case, she has another little, this is to someone special, and that is, again, glued and then foam taped in place. And then she's got another one with All My Heart. So it's a circle with another circle and an oval. So that's nice, on top of an arch. So that looks good. Now in this case, she's using the light pink ribbons, which I think was a good decision, especially since this paper is very pinky, and we've got a lot of pinks in our poppies. So she's got two kinds of ribbons, which is the benefit of these ribbon sets, that you get the 1/8 inch ribbon and the crepe ribbon in the same set with some other things too. So that takes care of our card front, and then inside the card. So you've got this one large topper that's really the focal, and everything is supporting it. Then you open this up and you've got pow, more color, more poppies. So this again is another sheet of the poppies, the 6x6. So simply gluing that in place, trimming it to fit. And then she's got 3 more of the toppers. So this is the next largest one. So that's glued down. This is foam taped. And then this little one, it has double layer of foam tape. Another bow, this happens to be another crepe one, is zotted in place. And that takes care of it. I especially like when the front of the card is different than the inside. I mean, they need to go together, of course, but I think it's fun when you see a different color just kind of say hello to you. So that's nice. Okay, now we're going to go into our sunflowers. And just to remind you, here's what the sheet looks like. And I bet you can guess what paper she used. Do I hear sunflowers? Well, you're right. So she did use the sunflowers 12 by 12 patterned and solid. And she did some different things with this too. So in using the patterned, in fact, you can see right here, this has got a white, kind of a whitewash wood with some text and some flowers. Well, you can see that this is the part that she used to cover the front of her card. Now, this part's really going to get covered up, but you do have this beautiful tone behind this bright artwork, and then you've got some other flowers kind of popping in there that will work well with our yellow sunflowers. And so as she cut that paper, then she matted it onto the Mary Gold cardstock, and that is a super shiny, as you can see, goes well with the foiling that Hunkydory is quite famous for. Hey, once again, she removed that gold frame. Sometimes she's going to have to do something using those frames, but I know that you can figure out things to use it for. So she took the big piece and she placed it onto the mocha brown suede paper. So it's a dark brown, and it is, you know what? This is the tan suede. This isn't the mocha. The mocha is a darker brown. I'm sorry, I pulled the wrong one. Take my word for it. This is the mocha brown. Now, currently it's out of stock, but it is on order, and I know it will be just coming in shortly. So just want you to know that. It doesn't look pretty with the sunflowers. So she glued this piece, and to attach it, I would use extra sticky tape. You could use the specialist glue, because you know, with that suede finish, you're going to want something that will kind of really adhere to the suede. So glue those two together, attach those two together, then trim the outside equally so it matches the suede. And then that was foam taped onto the top of the card, and boy, it really covers that card, doesn't it? But you've got that pretty white barnwood behind it. Then she foam taped the centerpiece in place, and then this has a large piece. And what I liked that she did, I don't know that I would have done this, but I think it works well for her. She took this and put it on the side. You know, I just told you to attach that to the card, but that was wrong, because she's got a treatment with the ribbon. So she has gone into the brown ribbon set. You know, and this is what I meant earlier when I was talking about the different types of ribbons in these packs. So you saw that there was an 1/8 inch, there was crepe. Well, this is a sheer that has swirls on it, and that I think is in almost every single one of them. So isn't that pretty? So just wrap that and then knot the ends over on the right hand side. Then this piece can be foam taped to the card front, okay? And that's actually all she did to the card front, but it is quite striking. Forgot to tell you, this is also a tent card. The tent cards are made by Hunkydory. This is the 5 by 7 inch. And again, that fold is at the top. And that's true of all the tent cards. Okay, now let's go to the inside. And the inside has got something fun going on. And let me show you. So this is called a waterfall. Can you see why? How neat is that? Wow. Okay, you're going to need a cutting die. I'm sure you can imagine. And we happen to have it. It is the Waterfall card cutting die. There are 4 pieces. And like all of our fabulous folded card dies, the instructions are right here on the back, and all of the dies are just right inside. So there are 4 dies, as I said. You don't need the base, because she's going to do the base for you. But first, before we get there, let's just take our sunflower pattern cardstock and cut it, and then mat it on the marigold, so you can see that's going on. And we're going to take a brown piece of the sunflower and also mat it on the Mary. And you see both of those are glued down on the inside of the card, so really nice. And you know what? Now I'm seeing she did something with that gold piece, that gold frame that she always removes. It's right here. It is framing our waterfall die. Isn't that's very neat. Good for you. Okay, so the pieces that you're going to be using are the full waterfall that gets pulled. There is a crossbar that holds it in place, and then there is a flip card that has this scallop on it. Let me just show you that. I'll put my hand under it so you can see that. Let's see. Let me put something white under it. Here we go. That way you can really see it. So that card gets glued to the front of each of these panels that happen in the waterfall. Now what she did is the directions for doing this, by the way, as I said, are on the waterfall card. So I'm not going into that because you'll see it when you get the cutting die. So these pieces are glued to the front of each one, as I said. But then she's also taking these extra smaller pieces that are always on the die cut sheet. So there's there it is. You spread seeds of happiness. Well, that's nice. And then look at the dazzles that she's done. She has taken, have you seen the new oval border dazzles? Comes in a set like this and then a set of more colorful ones. So she's taken the gold and placed it here. And then she's used our jewel dazzles, the gold ones, and just placed them at the top. So that's the first one. The second one has the two circles. There you go. And also the border and the jewel dazzles in the middle. And then a little ray of sunshine to brighten your day, the jewel dazzles, really pretty. And then also many happy returns right there. Probably would be better if I just pulled them like that so you could really see it. Then you can see how she decorated that with the oval border and the jewel. And the jewel's coming down on the pulled piece. So that's nice. Very smooth operating, works really well. And there you go. How fun. Nice to have that surprise inside, don't you think? Of course, Dazzles do a nice job of playing with the foiling that Hunkydory does so well. Okay, that's what I have to show you. This are all in the card topper pad of Fabulous Florals, ideal for card making, creative card making at home. Yes, it is. There are 24 topper sheets, so you can see each sheet has so many pieces that while Heidi maybe used 2 pieces on her card, you can do multiple cards with one sheet, and you're going to have 24 of them. And that is 8 of each design that I've shown you. Just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, do you like them? I think you will like them. Tell me in the comments. The comments, by the way, are down below. Now, if you go through, you'll see all of the cards, and then you can go further and further and further, and you can see the comments. Let me know what you think. I think this is drop dead gorgeous. And there are some ideas on the card front, so things that are different than what Heidi did. So that's nice to see. Okay, there is a money saver over on the right-hand side of your screen. I put something with this, and that way, but you will get the discount, of course. As I said, there are directions down below. Just click on the card. You'll see the directions. You can print them off if you like. I do go pretty quickly through these. I only give you the measurements that are super important. I really try to eliminate that because it's hard to hear numbers verbally, and I think it's just easier to read them. So that's the rationale behind it. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, but then please head over to paperwishes.com. I do believe we have the very best pricing on Hunkydory, and Hunkydory is one of our major companies that we buy from, and it's nice to be able to tell you that we have about the best pricing around. And of course, the money saver is a nice thing to have. Okay, I want to thank Heidi for just doing a beautiful job, absolutely beautiful job on these cards. But I want to thank you most of all for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again. Actually, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.